Rainer de Ritter easily dismantles of Bo Nickal, TKOing him in round 2, derailing the hype train, and this just seemed to be a step too big too soon for a guy like Bo Nickal, who is still fresh into his MMA career. I was pretty surprised when I first initially saw the matchup being made because RDR just got ranked off of beating Kevin Holland pretty easily. He had a very long and very accomplished career at 1FC, only losing to one guy in Anatoly Malikin, who was a triple champ, by the way, going up all the way to heavyweight and having a good career in his own right. But Bo Nickal just had a very off, very lousy performance against Paul Craig, barely striking with the guy, going tit for tat with middleweight old man Paul Craig, who was drained to the gills in that fight. Just look at Paul Craig's weigh-in photos if you need some evidence as to how drained he was at middleweight. But damn, RDR just does it. Outclasses him on the feet, on the ground, in the grappling. And yeah, let's go through it play by play. They first start out on the fence, kind of hugging it out, but Bo Nickal does well. He gets a trip, actually initiates his grappling, or I should say wrestling, against a grappler in Rainer de Ritter. But RDR, his jiu-jitsu is world-class. He showed that in the GM3 fight in that third round, being able to follow Gerald Meerschaert's double leg takedown attempt when GM3 was on the bottom and RDR was on the top. As GM3 was spinning around, RDR was able to constantly follow him to eventually get to that arm triangle. That's how we know RDR is very capable. GM3 is very capable in his own right as well. And yeah, he used that scrambling to get up. Bo Nickal, though, does make a huge rookie mistake against an accomplished grappler of such, pulling guillotine and giving up bottom position there was still half of the round left at that point, or about 2 minutes left. So yeah, just a big rookie mistake there from Bo Nickal, and RDR just kind of rides it out, really. And in the moments early on in the round, they were kind of going tit for tat on the feet. RDR had some success, Bo Nickal had some success. It wasn't like round 2. They both were pretty even on the feet. Bo Nickal with the overhands did whip a few calf kicks here and there as well. RDR with his weird DDP striking abilities. He's not beating those accusations whatsoever, but a comparison I'm kind of making to RDR striking, along with the Duplessis comparisons, is to a guy like Roman Dolidze. No knockout power, but it seems like their straight punches have some kind of thud, some kind of impact at the end of them. They're not dropping guys. They're not really, Francis Ngannou punches, Pereira punches. They're not those kind of punches, right? But they land with a good thud to some extent, some impact. So, yeah, that's a comparison there. But yeah, round 1 ends with RDR getting some more control. The striking was even, but RDR did land a few strikes as well when he was on top of Bo Nickal. So you have to give round 1 to RDR. Round 2, they start on the feet. RDR's, impactful punches were starting to land more and more. And Bo Nickal started feeling it. And then eventually RDR pushes him up against the fence and starts landing some shots. He landed a shot earlier as well to weaken up Bo Nickal. Puts him up against the fence. The punches are landing. Bo Nickal, from when I was initially first looking at it, it felt like he wanted to tap out right then and there. But he circles out, and RDR said he improved his striking. I didn't really see it. I mean, he's kind of done this, for the majority of his career, I would say. But I guess in his own, insights or whatever, or vision, whatever, that kind of bullshit. But yeah, he threw the knee, Dutch kickboxing style, lands it right on the solar plexus of Bo Nickal after landing a couple straight punches on the chin of Bo Nickal, kind of turning his head. And yeah, Bo Nickal crumples to the ground, and that's that. A step too big, too soon for a guy like Bo Nickal. And yeah, he's sent back to the end ranks, and RDR calls for Sean Strickland, which, it sounds crazy, but he was the number 13th ranked contender. We've seen crazier matchups like Urseg. He beat Matt Schnell. That was his best win, and then he immediately got a title shot against Pantoja. That was at the time where he was ranked number 10. He got the fight against the champion. We've seen O'Malley when he was ranked number 11 fight Jan when he was ranked number 1. RDR's 13. He's probably going to jump to either 12 or 11, something like that. And he called for Sean Strickland. Look, the UFC milked Sean Strickland already. They gave him the 2 Duplessis fights. It doesn't seem like there's much to do with Strickland anymore other than either give him to Izzy for some reason because they feel like they owe Izzy, a favor in giving him the Strickland fight. But if they choose not to do that, we've seen more obscene matchups like I just mentioned with Jan O'Malley. If they want to do De Ridder versus Strickland, it seems good. It seems fine. The UFC also like to, branch out to different demographics. Branching out to the, Netherlands isn't the worst idea, I guess. Obviously not, because again, new demographic, and taking out a guy like Strickland allows you to do so. It's a very compelling matchup as well because Strickland's got good takedown defense, good grappling, defensive grappling, I should say. You don't see guys doing much with Strickland at all on the ground because he's, very capable, comes from his sparring and stuff. So, yeah, let's see it. On the feet, obviously, even though Strickland, pitter-patters with his jab and teep and doesn't really do shit, but if it's in a main event over 5 rounds, it's going to land and accumulate on a guy like De Ridder who doesn't seem too capable on the feet. But, hey, De Ridder, Duplessis, they kind of, again, everybody compares them. The comparisons are hella accurate. Who knows? Maybe RDR lands a few punches and gets some good takedowns as well. But one good takeaway that we can finally have from this fight and some clarity is that we do not ever have to bring up this stupid conversation ever again. I want to point this out. MMA wrestling and wrestling, on the mat ain't the same. It's just not. There's a cage, and that's simply the facts. Like, you can move backwards. You're not forced to engage with each other. You can grapple. You explore way, newer positions compared to, like, wrestling. In wrestling, you're just trying to pin a guy, right? But in MMA, you're trying to hit him on the ground. You're trying to submit him as well, along with trying to control them and taking them down in the middle of the cage or on the fence of the cage. So, and a guy like Chimaev, RDR was absolutely massive in that cage, but Chimaev is physically strong. He pushes a pace, and, no one else, like, outside of the champions or, very high-level top contenders, like, let's say, Imavov, Dricus, even Strickland, again, defensively in the grappling at 185, can really deal with him. Caio Borralho, proven top contenders. Not a guy like Bo Nickal, who, yes, accolades in American wrestling, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. And yeah, where does Bo Nickal go from here, though? His hype got derailed. It didn't seem like the UFC, are going to care about him too much anymore. In my opinion, I think they are going to try and rebuild him, though, but I don't know. I think they're going to put him on the back burner. They are going to rebuild him, but not invest in him too much. So, what fights should we look for Bo Nickal? I mean, if you got any other better ideas, comment down below, but I'd love to see a GM3 versus a Bo Nickal fight. I mean, would you not? They both lost to RDR. But you can say one had a way better performance in GM3. Yes, he got submitted in round 3, right? He was losing round 3 pretty clear as well, but he won round 2 against De Ridder. He was winning pretty much the first 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes and 50 seconds of round 1 with the boxing. Bo Nickal, you want to argue, more superior wrestling to GM3. I don't think so, but hey, I'm GM3 bias, so we rolling with that shit. Hey, but yeah, again, if you're a matchmaker, hey, he's got better accolades than Gerald Mershart in the wrestling. Who cares? Let's see the fight. I like this fight. Both guys are coming off losses. I didn't think he lost the Brad Tavares fight. That is GM3. But hey, at least we don't have to talk about Chimaev versus Nickal anymore. Sure, Bo Nickal, you can say whatever you want. You can out-grapple him on a wrestling mat, but this is MMA. This is MMA. But I will say, I don't think he's just going to be going downhill from there. I think they're going to give him, if they don't give him GM3, they're going to give him like an 0-2 guy, or maybe Edmund Shabazian after he has a fight with Petrosky or something. So, because he's not a guy who's well-versed in the grappling, but a notable, credible name. So something like that is what they're going to steer Bo Nickal towards. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my reaction to the fight or something. We back on the YouTube, hustling away. And yeah, peace.